Welcome back to the ARCA Zoomcast.
That's it, Casey.
That is.
Aren't you happy I renamed your show for you?
Yeah, it is. It's exciting. So, yeah, a fun weekend at Berlin. I was there, had a great time.
Wait, you were there?
Yeah, I was
I
there.
don't remember seeing you there.
I didn't really see you much there that night.
That's weird. I don't remember you being there.
Oh, okay. Well, anyway, a fun time at Berlin. Another heartbreaking loss for Daniel Dye, but Sammy Smith picks up his first main ARCA win. But there were more storylines in that race.
A couple. Yeah, it's good to see Tom Hessert with a great run. You know, Tom is someone we haven't seen since I believe 2018, and he came out and finished second in his first race back, and really great to see him. Tom's one of my favorite people. He and his dad are just fantastic guys. And of course, Jesse Love had a great run. Roger Carruth taking the point lead back from he was in a tie with his teammate. So they've kind of swapped the points lead back and forth and been tied a couple times. And, you know, Roger's got that, massive 1-point lead going into Elko. And, my favorite story of the day, Brad Smith with his second career top 10. Those guys do a whole lot with a very, very little, and great to see them, come out with the top 10. I know attrition was pretty high. We had 17 cars and only 9 of them finished, and Brad wasn't one of them. But he realized, staying out, he wasn't going to be able to pick up any more positions, and he wasn't going to lose any positions. So he wanted to save, wear and tear on the engine for Elko this weekend. And yeah, that's my Berlin top 5 storylines in a nutshell right there, Casey.
Yeah, it was good. I know Daniel Dye's only 11 points out, just some awful luck, but he did say, but I don't know, you and I noticed this. He did sign some autographs after the race for him, so
yeah, he's still Daniel's a good kid, and he knows that the fans are the ones that make this deal go. So yeah, good to see him hanging out. And I'm sure he was pretty devastated, but you give yourself until midnight to be upset about it, and then you move on to the next one.
That was a fun night at Berlin. I know that I know that ARCA's gone there throughout the times, but Berlin has really kind of stabilized itself as a destination.
Yeah, it's a great racetrack. We've had a pretty long relationship with that facility, dating back to 1958. We started racing there again back in 1986, and more often than not, they're on the schedule. I mean, it's not they haven't been on our schedule each and every year since 1986, but more often than not in that time frame they have been. So Grand Rapids is a great market for us. Menards really likes us being here in that footprint, and it's a great racetrack with a lot of great fans. And yeah, hopefully we'll get to go back next year.
Yeah, for sure. Elko is coming up this weekend, the land of 10,000 lakes. Of course, we talk about Minnesota. Fun little track. If you want action, you're going to get it at Elko.
Yeah, it's the smallest racetrack we go to, so it's tight. There's a lot of beating and banging, and last year that race was won on a late race restart when Ty Gibbs kind of got the boot from Corey Heim there, and I expect we'll see a lot of that same type of racing there this week. It's really hard to get away from those people right behind you there, especially when you have to work your way through traffic around some of those restarts. So, it's going to be a lot of fun. We've got 300 guests coming from Menards. They're based over in Eau Claire, which is just about 45 minutes away, not very far at all. It's our closest race to them, and we're looking forward to having them. Obviously, they're very important to us. They're our main sponsor, and they allow us to come and do a lot of things that we wouldn't be able to do without them. So, we want to put on a good show for them and, make sure that they have a good time. But we also always have a very strong crowd there at Elko Speedway. It's a great little racetrack up there in one of the biggest metropolitan areas in the country. There's a lot of great race fans up there. Everybody talks about all the race fans up there in Wisconsin, and they do. They got a ton of them up in Wisconsin, but they've got just as many over there in Minnesota. They just don't quite get the attention that those Wisconsin fans get. But yeah, we look forward to having them out on Saturday night, and it should be a good show.
It should be a good show as well. Of course, Fennerini will be back to 4 cars. Landon Pemmelton will make his debut this weekend. If you remember the late model race at Martinsville, who won that big one. And of course, Tom Hessert's back for another week. He'll be in the 55, I believe. And of course, Jesse Love will be back, as well as most of the cast of characters that you saw at Berlin. So yeah, we're gonna have at least a few more cars in the field, and it's gonna be a really fun race. But what challenges do you think Elko provides to these drivers?
I mean, just the fact that you can't get away from anybody, Casey. You're always going to be dealing with someone knocking on your back bumper, and it's really hard to keep your temper in check when you've got someone who's pretty aggressively trying to get by right there. And uh, if you get into lap traffic, again, trying to get them out of the way or getting around them. If you move up to the middle of the racetrack, you're gonna have somebody filling that gap underneath you. So yeah, there's a lot of challenges when you go to a place as small and tight as Elko is. And one of the big challenges throughout the course of the day is the teams will be working down in the infield, their transporters will be up outside the racetrack. So just the logistics of making all that happen are pretty tough, but it's all worth it. Like I said, it's a great little racetrack. We've got a lot of great fans up there, and we know we're going to put on a good show. It's just a matter of who's going to be the one who comes out with the win.
A couple of other names that are going to be in there. Willie Mullins will be back. Of course, it's always good to see him at the racetrack. I believe, and also there could be some other surprises as well. Alex Lubb will return for his own team, and Ron Vandermeer Jr. will be back as well. So,
you talk about Ron Vandermeer. He's been with us twice so far this year. I think he's got 6 more races that he was planning on this season, and he's finished in the top 10 in both of them. That's a pretty unheralded, independent team right there. And I had a chance to chat with Ron a little bit out there at Iowa. What a great guy. It's the kind of guy we want to come and race with us on the short tracks. We really certainly appreciate him coming in and being a part of our show, and I hope he has a good day. And it's a good little race team that they're building right there. And I wouldn't be surprised. Ron's got a lot of laps up there at Elko. I wouldn't be surprised to see him a little bit farther up in the top 10 this week.
Yeah, for sure. I know ARCA's really in their summer stretch. We kind of started it a few weeks ago at really in Iowa, and that was more. I think the West had a few races before Iowa did, and then we got Irwindale next week for the West Series, and then Mid Ohio, and then a week off, and then Pocono and then IRP to finish off July and August.
Yep.
It's gonna be a really
busy times, man. This is the time of the year that we've been looking forward to all season long. There's a lot of races coming up. It's a lot of work ahead. Not that this matters to anybody outside of the 4 walls that I'm sitting in, but we got some personnel changes here that are kind of shaking things up in our office that are going to keep us a little extra busy. But hey, we're looking forward to it, and it's all part of the deal. And yeah, I can't wait to get to can't wait to get that Irwindale race going, and then move on to Mid Ohio, and I'm really looking forward to IRP. That's going to be a big day. The return of the Camping World trucks to one of their flagship racetracks. It's a shame that they haven't been there the last 11 years or so, but I'm really excited that we're going to get to be a part of that show, and we're working on some media stuff for that event here that I hope that comes together here in the next couple of days. And it's going to be a great summer for us here on the ARCA side of things. I know that there are some people out there who like to talk about the doom and gloom, and our car counts aren't what they should be, and ARCA's dying on the vine. And I got to tell you, nothing could be further from the truth. We've got really solid partners. Our television partners are ecstatic with the ratings. Our sponsors are firmly behind us. We've got a lot of great race teams that are solidly behind us, and we come to some of these short tracks and just absolutely pack the house. Yeah, would we like a few more cars? Absolutely, we would. But to say that we're dying on the vine, just absolutely nothing could be further from the truth, Casey. And I certainly appreciate you allowing me to come on here every week and to brag about some of our drivers and in some of our events. But seeing some of the negativity that's out there, just it upsets me a little bit, because they, the people who are out there being critical don't really understand, all of the ins and the outs of this situation. And yeah, we're here working hard every day to put on the best shows that we can. And we realize we still got a lot of work to do, Casey, but to say that we're dying on the vine is just incorrect.
Yeah. You did mention some personnel changes. There's one significant employee I do want to mention. Of course, Berlin was also Casey Wagner's last race with ARCA. I know that he was there the last 11.
Right.
A lot of, for example, just to explain what he did for ARCA, and of
Well, I
course,
don't know what he did, Casey. So, Casey is our manager of marketing services here at ARCA, and he does so much for all of us. So many things that we don't even know that he does. Just a really great guy. Has become one of my best friends, and I really enjoy working with him each and every day that I've been here. And prior to that, working with him when he was over at Toledo Speedway, and all the help that he has been to me over the years, and just what a great friend, what a great guy. I'm really excited. He's got another opportunity. It's going to allow him to spend a little more time at home with his family. But we're going to miss him. We really will. We're happy that he's going on and moving on to other things, but we will miss him here. And that does kind of mean that things are going to get rearranged here a little bit as far as who does what. But yeah, man, it was so great to see Casey get to go out, wave that green flag to get that race going, and get a little love from our friends there at MAV TV. But yeah, we're gonna miss him, but at the same time, we're cheering him on. We want him to go out and enjoy what he's doing next. And we'll figure it out here on our end. We always do, and we'll just keep right on trucking.
all right. All right, well, that's going to do it for this week. Tune in next week when we'll talk about Irwindale for the ARCA West Series.